Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Free Akashic Records readings, satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Courtesy of Celestial Intersections Radio, powered by eastrologer.tv. I'm Ernesto, I'm your host, and I'll be with you for the next hour or so. And we have Veretta here on the line. Veretta, are you there with me? Can you hear me right now?
I am here and ready.
Outstanding. So for this second half of the week, what is it that we need to know coming ahead into things?
There may be an extra amount of activity in people slamming. I don't know if that's politics, if that's countries in this direct manner, or just family level stuff. I feel like you just need to kind of every once in a while duck your head down, keep your bearings so you know where you're at emotionally, mentally, and just take the high road if you can. Because whatever happens over the next 3 days, whatever seeds are sown over the next 3 days, out of ill will be grown and exponentially fast. So we really just don't want to rack up any negative karma points between now and Sunday.
I was playing a game over the last couple of days, and it's a really old one, Donkey Kong 64. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I just kind of had an itch to play it again. So I picked it up, and the one character in the game, Wrinkly Kong, she's like the grandmother matriarch of the family. She turned out to be a ghost. And that really, really surprised me because this is like the most endearing, lovable character. And then they decide to kill her off, why couldn't they kill off the old coot? Why couldn't they kill off, like the party boy? Why was it, this sweet old, woman that was killed in the series? And I kind of thought to myself for a second, well, that actually kind of parallels life. So, Veretta, why is it that the doe gets slaughtered, but the old coot comes out on top every single time? Why is that?
Because a lot of times when dying is happening, regardless of how it was instigated or the goal or which form it may take, the fawn are always slaughtered because we are trying to create a healthy, strong, awake society. And anything less than that are going to be squandered. So either you kill them when you're in that same frame of mind, or you put them away later for slave work, slaughter, put them away later for whatever. So basically the fawn are slaughtered pretty quick, so they don't have to endure that kind of life all the way around. And you remember we pick our experience most of the time, but let's say there are things that we don't have control over. And that's kind of maybe a mercy one, where we are slaughtered as lambs and led back to what is okay, and know that we're not a martyr for it, but a pawn, if you will, to create a better way.
So it's just kind of like a stepping stone. It's unfortunate. It just has to be done.
Yeah, it's not a given that you're going to go through it, but if you do have to go through some of that kind of pain, you've been given a leap up, leaps and bounds. You've been given a leap up to understand what that was all about, and then be okay with it after the fact.
Well, I want to give everybody a little bit of a preview of some new things that are going to be coming to our channel here next month. Oh, I'm so sorry. We just lost Freda. Let me get her back on the line here. Perfect. So next month, we are going to be demoing a new podcast feature here on this channel. It will probably be moved into like a premium feature once we go into our Patreon account and all of that kind of stuff. But what's happening right now is we're just going to be doing a 30-minute pre-recorded show that's going to be called the Alchemy Annex, where we dig into some of those issues that a lot of you call in about, let's say relationships or about finding a new job or working on yourself, psychic development, whatever range of topics that we choose to get into, we're going to really break that down from a process perspective of sort of like, these are the actions that I have taken over the past number of days. And this is what happened as a result of that. Because I think once you're made aware of what happens when your actions start creating things for you, then that kind of it gives you sort of like a reinforcement, like maybe this isn't as scary as what I thought it was. Case in point, I've been dealing with my own terribleness over the past number of years and trying to swallow that knife of, do I want to be a nice guy or do I want to be a mean guy? I'm really not sure. Being a mean guy is very easy. That's what I'm used to. That's what I'm good at. And there's always that thought in the back of my mind, like, what happens if that changes? But the real thing that gets my attention is the fact that I can just straight up tell people, you know what? I am an a-hole. I will use you as my personal chew toy, all of that kind of stuff. And I acknowledge that these are character flaws of mine. But to vocalize that, it's really sort of annoying. It's just kind of like, okay, well, that sucks. What are you going to do about it? And I don't want to. So that, in a way, by repeating the same thing over and over again, I'm wired to think that that's a gauntlet, that's a challenge. That's the ethers that are kind of coming into play here that are saying, all right, so if you do you accept this? Well, we're going to make sure we're going to see about that. And then you start to have thoughts that enter your internal dialogue that are a little bit different than what you've had in the past. Like, what happens if we change this element, just this one tiny, tiny little thing? And then everything that follows afterwards just magically falls into place and you realize, maybe there is something to this. So I'm going through this whole personal metamorphosis that you've been aware of here on this show, and the Alchemy Annex will be sort of an opportunity for us to explore a lot of those topics and in terms of the self-transformation process and how all of that works. But right now it'll be a free feature on our show page here on Blog Talk Radio or on my website, eastrologer.tv. But coming up in the future, that will probably turn into a premium thing once we move into a Patreon account or whatever the heck we're going to go into. But that's way down the line. For right now, this next Wednesday, a week from today, that will be pre-recorded, but we will be back on Sunday again to take your live calls on our Subscriber Sunday show, as always. It is great that everybody is here today, and we just want to thank Andrea for calling in, and we're going to catch up with you right now at area code 703. Hi, Andrea. Can you hear me on the line right now? Are you there? Hello? I heard something. Andrea, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Hello, how are you?
Oh, hi. Andrea, it's great to have you back on the show. Now, let me pull up your chart here. Would you like a general reading today, or do you have a question for us?
I just have a question. I want to let you know the whole wedding thing is good. We're good with the wedding thing. But my other question is, I don't think I know this. My job is very toxic. And I've only been there like 35 days. I end up quitting today, which is a huge risk because I don't have another job in place, but I have 3 interviews this week. So do you think that some job will come through so it won't be, too destitute kind of thing?
Greta, what you got for Andrea about a job?
Okay, so I think that you'll have one come through right at the last minute, right in the perfect frame of time. Right in the nick of time, because it feels to me like you're almost, what I'm seeing, you actually get that job and it's offered and it's a pretty sure thing. I can see you exhaling like, oh my God, that was way too long.
Yeah.
Having to wait for someone to come. So something to come. So what that says to me then is there's a lesson in it for you from the time you bite that bullet and quit your job. And when you get one, when you pick it up. So the dash in between is what you're wanting to pay attention to. Not that you quit your job, not that you're getting another one, but what's happening in the meantime. Because right now that's going to be important to you. That's going to be a lot more important to you as far as learning whatever you're going to learn over the next few days of time. So be paying attention to family, situations, loving environments, whatever that is, it's going to be happening here in the next few days. And just be paying attention that that's an important frame down this timeline for you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Ernesto, do you have something for her?
Yes. So, Andrea, I'm taking a look at the possibility of work and sort of what that's all about. So, the first thing is that any changes that you would make right now, you would absolutely benefit from. Like, that is crystal clear. We don't even really have to do a lot of work as an astrologer to figure this part out. If you're watching our YouTube stream, you'll see that the pointer right now is set right here at 42 degrees, and you've got this Pluto and that Jupiter by direction. So, this is you right now. This is kind of like what's happening in your life at the moment. These are the major themes that you are dealing with. And so the fact that you've got this coming up at this spot with that Jupiter, that means great luck. And then you've got the Pluto, which creates a change there. Now, because you have Saturn that's more in your natal chart, that's going to speak more to like the responsibilities, like sort of like the worry, I guess, of am I going to make it? Is this really going to be something that I want? And that's probably become a little bit more of a concern than what you would acknowledge in the past. That as of like today, you're starting to have those real conversations with yourself that you haven't had before because you've never had to. But now it's kind of like, what the heck is coming up for me? Can I do this? Am I going to make it? And the answer is, I don't think that you are going to end up, like destitute or in a lot of trouble or having to have conversations about cutting out areas of your livelihood or the things that you enjoy. Like, I don't think it's going to get to those conversations because you're going to catch this before it's too late. And I think that new job, it's going to be either this month or the following. Like, the new job is right there and the potential is really great. So you will know once you find that position what you're going to be looking at what you're going to be working for, and it's just going to sink to your soul. You're really going to like it. This is the forever job. This is the one that you've been looking for. So I think that as far as like your work situation is concerned, Andrea, that this is definitely a time where you want to get those things worked on and taken care of. So get it out the door. Just if you're not sure, I don't know if I should put in for it, because just from a general perspective, you put in 100 resumes, you get 2 callbacks. So you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So just throw everything that you can and see what sticks to the wall. This is going to be one of those times where you can just kind of let your actions flail, and then what happens afterwards, you can kind of process that later. So that's going to be the play-by-play of how this will go down for you. So just keep putting yourself out there, and that next thing that you're looking for, that next big change, that is absolutely around the corner.
Great, thank you.
Okay, all right, yeah. So Andrea, does that make sense to you? Are you looking at working in finance right now?
No, I have one with a car dealership, and one will be like a construction company. One will be, I don't even remember what the other one is. So the guy said the car dealership, he's like, yeah, if you can pass a background check, the job is yours, because people can't pass a background check in a drug test for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can see here, that, commerce, economy, trade, those areas, those are going to be the ones that are going to be the good ones for you. So, like, if I had to pick side by side between car dealership or construction company, I would absolutely pick car dealership. Beretta, what would you pick?
Well, okay, so
what
it
one?
could go either way. Well, what I was going to say was it could go either way, but the reality of it is you're going to get different experience, and so you'll make money in both. That's not an issue. You will make money. It's a matter of how well you want to learn to play with your fellow students, because the car dealership is going to be cutthroat, and the construction is going to be keeping a bunch of wolves at bay. I don't know what you would want. I don't know what sounds more appealing to you, but I can say you don't deal well with having your throat cut at any given moment. So maybe think hard and long about that car dealership job.
Well, the car dealership is not selling cars. It's just reception work at the front. It's not selling selling cars, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, okay, that's a plus. That's a step up.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not going to be cutthroat. So
well, that's true. That's very true.
The dealership is very steady work. I think that the construction company, that's going to cause more upset and distress than what you signed up for. And that's going to result in a disappointment that you're going to have to take care of later.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, well, Andrea, it was great to have you on the show, and we'll catch up with
Yeah,
you real soon. Be sure to
you
give us a
too.
call back and let us know how it turns out.
I will let you know how it goes. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, for sure. Until next time, many blessings.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Okay, so Beretta, I've been having the experience recently, and this is kind of getting into what we're going to talk about in our podcast, is that there is this thing that I cannot pull myself away from because I am so unbelievably attracted to it. Like, OMG, I have to have this in my life right now. I need to drop everything that I'm doing to make this happen. And so that's been my experience, and it's been very difficult to do that. So in a previous show, you were just kind of saying, focus on what's in the moment. Well, that's not really helpful information when we're dealing with, like lovesick kinds of things, right? The matters of the heart, those things can't wait. Those have to be taken care of right now. So when we're dealing with, like, when I'm working with these types of things of, I'm not sure what direction I should take, you know what I ended up doing? I deleted that stuff from my phone. That stuff that I was looking at that I couldn't stay away from. This one person who was just kind of like, yeah, I know that this is there, but this just isn't the right time. This is not a good week for me. Hit me up next week kind of thing. So then, as opposed to me sending out, like messages every single day over the next 7 days because I can, because I'm like obsessed with this concept, idea, person, whatever, then I've decided let's not be a creep, because that's what I always did in the past, and that never really worked out for anybody. So what I decided to do instead was I deleted that junk from my phone and I focused on the things that mattered. I started working on my textbook and getting back into that. That one of the things that definitely caught my attention was I had a conversation with this person where they weren't entirely certain of their birth time. It was just sort of a range of hours that for me to work with. And it's like, so what, I'm being shown this for a reason right now. I'm of the belief that everything that comes into my life is being shown to me for a specific reason. So why am I being told this, about this range of times? In the past, I would just kind of poke around and make sense out of whatever I could. But that really doesn't help me in my current situation of textbook creation. So what I decided to do was let me focus on this one thing that's really important. And by doing so and writing this relationship analysis that took the course of about a week, something very mysterious happened. The wheels on that connection started turning. So this person that has been offline since I last spoke to them, like their account magically turns on again. It was just so weird. And every single time I would do that, that I would keep working on the astrology of me and this other person. Like they would just kind of show up again, and nothing would ever really come of it. There was nothing that gave me like reassurance that something will come of this or anything. It's just sort of like an inner knowing that I don't need to talk to you because I don't have to. I feel comfortable. I feel calm. I feel safe, whatever the word you want to throw in there. So I kept on doing my thing of ignoring this pink elephant in the room and focusing on the things that matter to me in my life with my own personal endeavors. And it's really been remarkable, everything that has been shown to me and all of the new things that are appearing in my internal dialogue and even my dreams, things that I've never seen before. And it's just kind of like, what is this? So this is a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be getting into when we do our Alchemy Annex show next Wednesday. We're going to talk about that a lot more because there is so much more to this story here. But it is sort of important that, everybody just gets the concept that one thing that we think we have to have, pull yourself away from it. They always say absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? Like that whole cliche. It is true to an extent. And, even any addict will tell you, I didn't use today. So when I decided to use the following day, it felt that much better. I mean, that's a very basic way that we can all relate to. And I'm just having this thing right now where I'm realizing, don't pick up the phone, don't engage. There is this big thing that that you have to have, this beautiful Greek god Adonis that is in your future and all of that, and that is fine, your dreamboat, but it's not right now. There's all these other things that have to happen first, because once I get to that point and I know that I've made it, then everything is just going to kind of like fall into place, and I will become so consumed and busy that I don't have time for anything else. So that's why I need to knock these things out. So like for our caller Amala, who we've had these conversations with previously, when you were sort of wondering, well, what the heck do I do? You know, like when I'm waiting for these other people that ghosted me, well, you mentioned that you had other work endeavors that you were talking about. So focus on that, you know, put some energy into that. That's how I distract myself anyway, is just by focusing on what's in front of me with all of these millions of things that I have to do, but I just I don't have the time for it. I can just do so much in a day. On that note, I
and
just
that's
wanted
what
to
I refer to when I
Yes.
say work on the gap, work on the dash. The dash has many things you can do. You may not want to, but it has many things available to keep you distracted from that one thing that you know you really shouldn't do.
Okay, and let me see here. One more thing. Yeah, we have a couple of new calls that just came in, so I do want to get off to our phones again and catch up with everybody. But we're gonna break this down a lot more next week in our podcast show, so you can kind of understand what that all looks like about creating something by your own actions. Because this person that's being presented to me is really just an amalgamation of everything else that I have sent back or thrown away in the past. The things that blew up in my face that looked so veneer and perfect and crystal clear and everything else in the beginning, but then there's that, you know, hideous heartache that's associated with it when it all falls apart. Well, this
Right.
connection that I'm working with now, it's just sort of like is taking the best of all of those scenarios and throwing them together. And my actions have created this because by me changing myself, I am able to create other things that are right for me because myself is changing. So obviously the types of people that I attract are going to change as well.
Yeah, that's it right there. The amount of changing comes from you, from within, and without you even knowing it, nor finding anything possible. It's done. It's different. You're different. Things are different. You know, different is coming in.
And, you know, the thing is that a lot of us are really just sort of too afraid to make the change because we're so comfortable with what we have. And a lot of times we don't even feel it was necessary. If you asked me 2 months ago, Ernesto, is it necessary for you to give up these elements of your life that you really enjoy? I probably would have told you to go screw yourself because it's just like that's
Right.
not one of those things that I would ever consider. But now that I'm realizing I'm still getting the same results, doing the same things, so that big pink elephant, I'm going to have to make it go away because the only way I can create something different is by changing it.
Yeah, changing yourself and how you view it is exactly what you do.
And a lot of that is so scary and so difficult, but we do pull through it. Just trust me. Just focus on the moment. Focus on what brings you joy. That's kind of how I've been doing it. And I've been really surprised the peace of mind that it brings me in my personal life, that I'm not so torn up about these things that I have no control over.
Yeah.
So we do have
Amazing.
some new calls, and we want to get off to area code 917, and then we'll be off to area code 610. And yes, Veretta, was there anything else that you had to add to that on that one?
No.
Okay, all right. So let's get off here to area code 917. Hi, you're on Celestial Intersections Radio. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, my name is Carmen. My date of birth is January 28th.
January 28th of what year?
7-3.
Okay, and at what time were you born?
At 11:14 a.m.
And where were you born?
Sorry?
Where were you born?
Where?
Yes,
In the Netherlands, Amsterdam.
in Amsterdam. Wow, fancy. All right, so let me look that one up here. And
Yeah.
this our atlas for the software is a little bit wonky, so it's anybody's guess where this all is, but I'm sure I can find it here. And I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Carmen.
Carmen? All right, great. So let's see. No, that's not it. Amsterdam, there we go. Okay. And I'm so sorry, Carmen, do you have a question for me today, or would you like a general?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been feeling a little, like, just a little bit stuckish. and also wondering like if I'm going to get through this and what's next for me kind of thing, and or relationship things, or what's next for me more like.
Okay, sure. All right, Veretta, what you got for Carmen here?
Okay. What's next for you? Carmen, it looks like a lot of the same as before. And when I say that, you might think, yay. No, you don't. The thing is about a lot of what you do, what you've been doing before, is feeling like you're a ship caught in a wave. And you do really well. You get along so far, and then all of a sudden, somebody jerks the ship in a hard right. And half of the people on it fall off, and the rest of them going, turn the other way because they can tell everybody what to do and proceed. So here's what I'm saying to you: is you've got a lot more of that overall foreboding coming on. You're very intact with your intuition, and so because you get that foreboding, that feeling of something bad's going to happen, and usually within a little bit of time when you have those premonitions, it works. Something happens. So what I'm going to say to you about the future, the very near future for you, it feels to me to be in a way of spirit saying, are you sure you want that? You really want to do that again? And finding out really why you keep wanting to open up, put yourself in line with the hardship or the hoarseness that you make for yourself. The coarseness and, the coursework is very difficult if you don't understand or you don't just want to move out of your comfort zone, but you can actually intuit a lot of it. So quit doubting that you can. Because if you started taking an honest look at how well you can do it and what template you want to be on, what format do you want to be on, what modality do you want to use as far as a tool, if you need to feel like you have to have a tool for your intuition, all that needs to be decided right now. And the next step in this journey for you will be about learning to walk as one with it and letting it let it work for you so you know what's going on instead of wondering, oh, did I do that? Is this it? When is it coming? You'll also attract a whole lot of different type of people to you. And when you stop looking at what everybody else needs and how fast you don't run, then you're going to have a leg up on everybody because you're not worried about catering to anybody but yourself first. Now, I'm not saying you don't have compassion. You're very compassionate. I'm not saying you don't have any kind of sincerity when it comes to something going on. You're very consecutive with your compassion. But the reality of it is you don't allow it. You allow people to treat you like dirt, and you don't allow it. If you were to talk to those same people about other people, you don't allow it for them. So right now, this time frame for you is to get you out of the confused territory of, I don't know what I've done. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know if this is even what I want. I don't know if it's going to get me anywhere. I just don't know. And your intuition can work for you. It's just a matter of learning how to utilize what kind you've got going on and what the right testers are for you to determine what you're comfortable with, how you feel like it works for you. And I'm honestly feeling like you could do some kinesiology very easy, and even more pendulum work, like you can be a rock star at it. But we'll see what Ernesto has to say and find out if there's anything he can add on to that.
Sure, Carmen, I'm just curious. Did you experience a spontaneous relationship breakup recently?
No.
So did you break contact with anybody in the past recently?
Break contact. I mean, not really.
Okay. Because I really get the sense that there's a new relationship on the horizon. It would take a little bit more work than just a general to break that down. But it looks like the way that I'm reading this is like that there is definitely some new relationships, some new love energy that's coming in. I want to say that this is even a marriage partner, but it's really just going to be, as Veretta was saying, how much of the past do you want to repeat itself? Because this new person, this new energy that's coming into your life, it's going to be very similar to what it was in the past. So it's something that like a lot of the same stories and the themes that you've experienced before, you're going to be going through them again. So it's going to be a question of, do I want to do this again a second time, and probably in a little bit more serious way, because this is going to be looking more like a marriage kind of thing here. So that's going to be, I think, the biggest thing. And I absolutely agree that like kinesiology is something that you would benefit from. That body testing is a very simple way of describing that. And like, I think what we would do is we would hold like a vitamin bottle into our hands, and then we would stand on our, like shift our weight forward and say, hi, this is my name. Do I need this?
Yeah.
And then if you land backwards, then you don't. So, that's a great way. Body testing is a perfect way to kind of get into tapping into that sense of self. And also what's really interesting to me is at the moment that you called into the show and asked the question, like, how do I unstuck myself? That's that actually just came up with good luck in the minute that you asked the question. So that tells me here that there absolutely is a way to pull through this. And to be absolutely clear, you've even been probably feeling stuck for about the last year or two. This has kind of been a cycle that you've just kind of like, I'm just stuck in a rut, and I'm sick of these four walls. COVID probably damaged you in some ways, psychologically, in the sense that like every single day is the same. What the hell good is any of this anyway? And I kind of think that sort of created enough of a disconnect with your own conscious process that it started to interject other new questions in my mind, like what else is broken with me, like why is it like this? Well, that's just because like this situation just kind of got to you, and it didn't have to be that way. But again, coming into a general of what's happening for you in terms of this year, this is going to be again a year of intuition, and I do believe that there are some love relationships that are on the horizon as well. But that's going to come down to, do I want to do the same thing again because I've already done it before?
Okay, but that's kind of contradicting the whole marriage thing.
It is, but also remember, like we were talking at the beginning of the show, that this is really just sort of an expression of how do I want to change myself to make room for somebody else. So like those old stories that you've dealt with other partners, you're going to deal with them again, but that's only a reflection if you're staying the same. If you've changed yourself and addressed those issues that caused those conflicts to begin with, then what you're going to experience again will be a much higher form of what you had in the past.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's not normal. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great to have you on the show, Carmen. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how it turns out, and to subscribe, like, and share.
Thank you.
We'll catch up with you real soon. Take care.
Take
Until
care.
next time. Many blessings. Okay, and just a moment here. Let me catch up while we take care of a couple of things. All right, 610. I'm sorry, we just had our caller from 610 we just lost, so let me go ahead and dial out so we can take care of that. Just a moment. Here we go. Hi, you're on Celestial Intersections Radio. May I have your name and date of birth, please? Okay, and the call just dropped. So, looks like that somebody must have been on a break at work or something like that. Yeah, just kidding, right? So, we are going to actually close out the show early tonight. It seems like that everybody's kind of out doing their own thing. We do want to let you know that we are going to be back with you guys again on Sunday at 10 a.m. for a 1-hour show one more time. You can catch out over at eastrologer.tv for all other things Uranian Astrology. Be sure to check out eastrologer.tv and be sure to follow up with Beretta at berettavision.com. We do want to remind all of our subscribers that we do offer that subscriber special. It's a promotional rate for 30 minutes for a half-hour private reading with both me and Beretta. You can throw all the questions that you like at us in that 30-minute period, and we'll get you taken care of. I promise you that we are very good at what we do, because obviously we are so confident in our product that we can demo it here on the air. Very few people can say that about what they do in terms of the caliber of their work. So it's always a pleasure to work with you, Beretta. It's terrific to have you on the show, and I'm really sorry that everybody's just kind of out doing their own thing, but at the same time, that opportunity to have some time off is always appreciated as well.
It's always appreciated. You bet. All right,
So-
sir. Well, I will talk to you on Sunday then.
Yes, so we will be back with you guys on Sunday at 10 a.m. and we will catch up with you guys real soon. Until next time, good luck and Godspeed.
Bye-bye.